I'm talking with Sarah Brown, who's the founder and executive director of greenalliance.biz. And Sarah, this is in advance of a podcast I'm doing on the recent establishment of a charging station for electric vehicles at Red Hook Brewery at Pease International Trade Port. Something you've been involved with. Maybe you could take a minute to tell us what that involvement is as far as the Green Alliance is concerned.
Well, so we work with businesses on sustainability, and Red Hook is one of the businesses we work with. It's a green certified business. So now they've just added another notch in their belt of sustainability, which is having this charging station. So in addition to composting and all sorts of energy efficiency measures and local foods, now we see them as really a leader in the electric car movement. And this is really important because the thing about electric cars is they do take some time to charge. So it's nice that the dealerships have the stations, and that's great. But I mean, what are you going to do for 2.5 hours at a dealership? So to start seeing these charging stations at a restaurant where you can drop in, have some food, enjoy some time while your car is charging, this is really going to start to fundamentally change the landscape and make electric cars much more of a reality than sort of a fringe thing.
You're actually standing in front of my 2007 Prius, which is a hybrid. It gets about 50 miles per gallon, but still depends, on fossil fuels like the Volt does, and other hybrid vehicles. I guess my question is, and again, we're going to be exploring this more in a podcast with Lauren Collins at PSNH, which has been very active in this, is the limitations of battery life. Is that going to, for a while at least, force motorists to use them only for commuting and not travel?
I think so. I mean, I think in the beginning what you're seeing is that folks that are getting electric cars are really the early adopters. They're the ones that are willing to put up with the limitations. But, you have to crawl before you walk. So you have to have those early adopters. The couple from Kittery that was the first couple to charge up at that charging station out at Red Hook the other day, I mean, they were just so excited that they had a place to go. They said they go to Red Hook anyway, but now this is going to make them go there because not only are they going to be getting good food, but they're also going to be getting a charge. Now, this is a retired couple, so they are really committed to sort of forward movement on electric vehicles, so they have the flexibility. But we need people like that to come forward and sort of work through the bugs so that, when my kids in 10 years are out there choosing cars, electric vehicles are not going to have limitations. There's going to be charging stations all over the place.
One of the limitations, of course, as an expert explained to me, is the development of batteries and batteries that can potentially run 200 miles and make them really travel vehicles. And then he said, frankly, that could be several years off. And as you say, maybe it's going to be the next generation that uses electric vehicles. I guess my question is, how does this electric vehicle charging fit in with your overall goal of environmental preservation and conservation?
Well, we see them all as grains of sand, I mean, I think as anybody knows in the environmental movement that, if you're looking for big overnight successes, you might as well pack it up and go home. It's all about grains of sand that you're dropping in the bucket that will eventually tip the scales in the favor of preservation. And, that's how I see this electric charging station. Yes, they're still few and far between, but when we start to see businesses installing these as not only their responsible stewardship of the environment, but also as a good business move. I mean, this is going to attract folks to go and eat at Red Hook. If you've got an electric car, you are now going to be on that app, and everybody's going to see, well, where can you charge in this region? And it's going to drive them right to Red Hook. So when we start seeing environmental things at the forefront become synonymous with actually good business, I think that's how we're really moving the conversation forward.
One more question for you, and that is, I was present when you founded greenalliance.biz. How has the organization grown? I mean, are you happy with its growth?
Yes, we're definitely growing. And again, that brings me back to business, is that, there are a lot of individuals like ourselves on the ground kind of, moving this forward. But there's a lot of business leaders who have the power to move a larger block. You know, when we're talking about Red Hook or Smutty Nose Brewery, they're doing a lot of things. You know, actually we're working with Coca-Cola now, and you know, so the larger companies that are starting to come on board that really have large influence in reinforcing the consumer behaviors, that's exciting. And that's what we wanted to do with Green Alliance, was connect the consumers with the businesses that share the same environmental values, and I definitely see that happening.
I've been talking with Sarah Brown, founder and executive director of the Green Alliance, with the website greenalliance.biz, and you'll be hearing more about this charging station and the entire goal of them with Lauren Collins of PSNH, which has given money, I guess, in this effort, especially at Red Hook. And so we hope you'll stay tuned for that. And thank you, Sarah Brown.
Thank you.